Hello, Nicholas. It's currently 2 in the morning. Um, I've been working on some updates to the app, basically involving using the kind of the new like Apple Intelligence AI on-device models. And I have some non-AI algorithms I've been using for importing recipes. But I just want to show you real quick, basically the difference between like using a ChatGPT API over the network to import a recipe, and then using the all the on-device stuff I've been working on, because it's actually super cool. The on-device stuff is super fast, and it's only available I think on like the 15 and up. So your phone's a little too old to use it, but maybe once you get the 18, you'll be able to use this new shit. Also, I'm planning on getting you into this app super soon. There's just a couple things I want to wrap up. But once you get access to the app, you'll be able to use it and stuff when you're cooking, and then test it. If you find any major bugs, or issues, I'll pay you $5 for per bug you find. And if you have any good, basically recommendations on how to improve this, like different features that are that you would like to see added, I'll give you some little bit of money too if it's really good, and I implement it. And I'll credit you as well. So that'd be awesome if you're able to help me out with that. But yeah, I'm not gonna go into everything about this app now. I mean, there's a bunch of shit. There's like the whole recipes thing. There's grocery lists, implementation, pantry stuff, a bunch of different AI features that are all integrated. So it's a lot of shit going on. Right now, we're basically just going to demonstrate importing a recipe, and I'm going to use the two different models just to do a little speed test. So I'm going to go into a chocolate chip cookie recipe. It's kind of basic. This is what an imported recipe looks like when it gets finalized. It pulls an image. It has different ingredients. You can change the servings, or instructions. You can cross them off as you go. One cool thing too, this isn't an AI feature, but if instruction mentions like a time, like beat in eggs and vanilla until light for about 1 minute, it gives you this little timer kind of option. So I can go and click that and start my 1 minute timer, and it does that for all the instructions that mentioned like a time. So down here it's mentioning 8 to 10 minutes, so it gives me options for a setting timer for 8, 9, or 10 minutes. I can set a 8-minute timer. It'll run in parallel with that. So that's just one little feature. There's a lot of cool shit like that makes your life super easy when you're following ingredients. So I'm going to copy this URL. So basically, how this works, how importing recipes works. One of the options is if you find a good recipe online, you can basically grab the URL, paste it into the app, and then basically import it, and then the ChatGPT thing. Then I'm just gonna start, and I'll talk why this is going. So, let me start my timer. So, right now it's using ChatGPT APIs to extract the ingredients, the instructions, stuff like the prep time, cook time. It's pulling recipe images, which that's not an AI thing. And it's estimating like cost and calories, stuff like that. That's a ChatGPT thing. But this is all over the network. Nothing on device here right now, and as you can see, it's it definitely takes some time. So we're over 30 seconds now. It should be wrapping up pretty soon. But it's super accurate with this process, because basically I'm sending ChatGPT the full extracted basically HTML of a website, so it never hallucinates ingredients or instructions. It's basically 100% accurate each time. It just has to go through the network, so it takes some time and it costs money. Okay, so stop. Okay, so that was a minute there. So it looks accurate. I got all 10 ingredients. Got my instructions. Those look good. Generated some tips too. Pulled those out. Have my recipe images. Okay, so that looks good. So that was a minute. That took a minute. Let's do the same thing, and I'm going to quit the app out just so start from fresh so I don't cheat. Let's do the same thing, but let's use the on-device foundation models and AI stuff only. So no ChatGPT. This is all on-device. I'm gonna click the local button, which this is just a test button. This is gonna get cleaned up. So I'm gonna do that, start my timer. So this is basically using all the on-device stuff that's available on the new phones. And then a couple different algorithms that I made for basically matching ingredients to instructions and kind of shit like that. But, oh, boom, stop. Okay, so that was like 15 seconds. The other one was 60 seconds, so I mean, that's a lot fucking faster. You got all 10 ingredients, you have your instructions, your images and stuff like that. Actually, now that we're gonna split this into 2 videos, let me just show you some other shit. But basically, I mean, that's pretty cool, right? That's a lot faster, and it didn't cost any money, because each time you query ChatGPT, it costs like, a couple cents, which is fine, but that adds up. So it doesn't cost any money. It's super accurate and fast, which is cool. The thing where it gets a little bit more tricky, and this is what I've been working on all last time this morning, is stuff like, when you have a spaghetti and meatballs recipe, it has multiple, what I call recipe components. So basically what a recipe component is, like for spaghetti and meatballs, one component would be the meatballs, and another component would be the sauce, and then another component would be the pasta. So each of those components have, different ingredients, and then each component also has, a different set of instructions as well. So there's different instructions for making the meatballs, different instructions for making the sauce, stuff like that. And usually this information isn't baked in all the time when you extract the HTML from a website. Usually it just gives you a big list of just ingredients and then instructions, just kind of in order, but it doesn't say like this ingredient goes for this component and stuff like that. So that's what originally, the ChatGPT APIs were really good at, is you can give it all the raw data and you can say, hey, these identify the recipe components and then group, the ingredients with the correct component and stuff like that. And it groups it really well, which is cool. The on-device stuff is a little bit less accurate. That's what I've been tweaking on all tonight, kind of doing a bunch of different methods. One method I have is if you're able to, sometimes the basically the data from the recipe on the website, it includes some format that kind of has like components built in, but it's never for the ingredients, it's always for the instructions. But if you're able to take the instructions and identify the components, you can then look for mentions of the ingredient within the instruction and then pull, that from the instruction. So for example, this meatballs instruction that says, add 1 pound ground beef, 1 pound sausage, Parmesan. I can say, okay, let's pull those ingredients from this, and now I know this belongs to the meatballs component and shit like that. So a little crazy, a little hard to explain, but it's pretty damn sweet. So yeah, that's your basic, recipe look. There's a feature called guided cook, which is cool. So basically, if you're cooking and you want to set your phone down, you press this button. It basically shows you a big kind of blow up screen of all the instructions, and you can just do them step by step. So first instruction, you can go to the next one. If an instruction mentions ingredients, like this instruction says, in a medium bowl, mix flour, baking soda, baking powder, and salt set aside. You can see how it identified the ingredients needed, and it just pulled those specific ingredients that were mentioned in that instruction. So you can see, like I need 3 cups of all-purpose flour and 1 teaspoon of baking soda and stuff like that, which is super cool. And then, if an instruction mentions a time, like, do this for 1 minute, you can click your 1 minute timer button, and this makes like a full screen timer view. So you can see this orange bar is gonna like pretty much cover the whole screen. So the idea behind this was, you're cooking, you set your phone down on the counter, and you can kind of glance over at it to see when your timer's done. Instead of trying to look for like a little number value, you can basically see, like my screen is about to be fully orange, so I know that my timer is about to finish and stuff like that. So that's guided cook. I don't know why it does that sometimes. Yeah, that's cool. You can set a bunch of timers. You can set basically as many timers as you want, and then you can have, these are your recommended timers down here. So cool stuff like that. Another cool feature, and I'll just go through all this shit right now. Fuck it. I'm gonna have to break this video into a lot of different videos, but that's okay. Another cool thing. So say, I want to cook this chocolate chip cookie recipe, and I want to add I need to get the ingredients, at the store. I can basically, because I have a shopping cart integration, I can basically click a shopping cart button. I can add recipes to my grocery list. Let's say I want to cook, or I want to bake chocolate chip cookies, and let's bake a key lime pie to generate grocery list. So what this just did is it extracted all the ingredients from those recipes, and it basically put it on my grocery list. So you can see here, my salted butter, sugar, eggs. So basically, if I buy all of these grocery items from the store, I'd be able to cook the chocolate chip cookies and that key lime pie. So that's pretty cool. And again, going into grocery list here, works like a regular grocery list. You can start, typing stuff to add things. I can go to, previous grocery lists. So I can go to my one from Wednesday, check stuff off at the store. This also integrates with the Apple Watch too. So this will show up on a view on your Apple Watch, so you can click it and watch, which is cool. Add stuff like that. Bananas. Bread. Yeah, so that's your standard grocery list. So, super handy. It all integrates with the recipes and stuff like that. And then another feature is basically a feature where I call My Pantry. So this is basically a representation of all the items you have in your pantry. And what this is really useful for is if I know all the items in my pantry, I can do some pretty cool stuff. So I can use AI to show me like what recipes can I cook with the ingredients I have on hand and cool stuff like that. But then even with my, my current recipes, I can see, okay, what recipes are available to me? What can I cook right now with all the ingredients that are currently in my pantry? And it says right here, okay, I can cook sugar cookies and then pasta with Alfredo sauce. So that's basically the idea behind the whole pantry thing. And you can do stuff like, instead of typing in each item, I can like go and take a picture. Like if I go to the grocery store and have all my items laid out, or if I want to take a picture of a bunch of stuff in my pantry, I can go, and let's try this. I can take a picture, or I can select an image. I think I have a test one here. Yeah, there's one. So I got, 4 pantry items. I take a picture of it. I click extract items from image, and this is full ChatGPT shit. I mean, there's no way to do this locally. I mean, maybe with the iOS 27 stuff that came out today. But boom, it just extracted cornstarch, baking powder. So it extracted all the pantry items from that image, and then I can go and save them, add them to the pantry and stuff like that. And again, this is all integrated into the recipes. So if you look at these on the home view here for our recipes, if you see some of these recipes have that, red cross or X mark, and then, the green check mark. That's basically showing you if the ingredients are all available for a certain recipe. So for example, this s'mores cheesecake one, you can go into the ingredient settings, enable the show availability of ingredients in my pantry feature, and this breaks down each of the ingredients. It shows you if it's available in your pantry. So I can see, okay, I have granulated sugar, I have vanilla extract, I have salt, but then I'm missing all of the other ingredients. So, okay, I'm missing those ingredients. Let's go, let's add that to my grocery list, generate a grocery list. And then boom, I can go to the store, get all that, and then now I have all those ingredients. Okay, I'm going to end the video there. I think that's a pretty decent overview of what this shit does. So, sorry for the super long videos, but I'll reach out when I'm ready to get you set up in this, and then you can be my little beta tester, and I'll pay you the cash. I'll pay you some cash. Okay, real quick, one more thing I wanted to show you, and this is basically the entire reason I made this app, but basically the recipe web pages are fucking horrible to follow ingredients from. I mean, it's flooded with ads. You don't know where the recipe is. You have to scroll all the way down to shit. And I have a clip of this that the front of the audio got all fucked up, so I'm recording this video to explain the next clip. But what I'm gonna do in this next clip is basically go into one of my recipes and then open the import source, which is basically the URL that it came from. I'm gonna open that and just basically show you how shitty like these fucking recipe web pages are, because that's really the main reason why I made this, is so I can import it into this app and then have a nice clean format. If I go down to the website that I imported this from and open it in the browser, I mean, you can see how just fucking shitty these recipe web pages are. I mean, you just get fucking full screen ads everywhere. I just had an ad fucking pop up. Perfect example. Ads pop up. Look at all these ads. I don't know. Another ad just popped up. I don't know where the recipe is. Look, Jesus Christ. Jesus. You see what I mean? It's fucking crazy. Just stupid ass shit. And then, we go back to my app, and this is what it looks like when you import it. So I can clearly see all my ingredients for each component. I can clearly see all my instructions. I can set timers super easily and shit like that. I can add notes to different things, fucking don't drop the eggs. Shit like that. I can see the calories, stuff like. So yeah, that's basically why I did that, because the recipe apps or recipe web pages online are filled with that.